Okay, so we have some episode titles for the upcoming episodes of Boruto, Naruto Next Generations, the anime from episode 7 through 10. Some of them seem a little interesting. I'm not gonna lie, some of them seem a little bit like, this better be good because what the hell is this title? Yeah, it sounds a little bit out there and it sounds a little bit like, people might not care. But also, based on these titles, it's kind of making me wonder where the Boruto series is going, because I assumed after episode 6, which if you've been following the spoiler videos, then definitely, you know what's supposed to happen there. And if you haven't, go check them out so you can know what's supposed to happen in episode 6. But it seems as though the Academy days were ending with episode 6. Either that, or they're supposed to be getting a new sensei of some sort, because it seems as though episode 6, based on the title, the final lesson, the last lesson, it seems as though maybe they were going to graduate at this point. And at the same time, it also coincides very nicely with Naruto Gaiden, because I believe Naruto Gaiden started where they were just about to graduate, and I think by the end of it they graduate from the academy, and then it leads into Boruto Naruto the movie. So I was assuming after episode 6, okay, Naruto Gaiden stuff, but these titles might say otherwise. Only time will tell, but let's read them. Let's start off with episode 7. Episode 7, Love and Potato Chips. Terrible title, and I'm imagining, I can almost guarantee it's going to be an episode that focuses more in on Chocho and potentially Sarada. The potato chips, it gotta be Chocho, it gotta be. And I mean, I guess if you think about it, Naruto Gaiden did start off with Sarada and Chocho, so maybe that is, but that title is horrible. I'm not even gonna lie, I don't know. I guess that's supposed to appeal to children. As a 26-year-old man, I feel embarrassed even saying, yeah, in a couple of weeks, I'm going to be watching an episode of an anime. The episode title is Love and Potato Chips. Like, yeah, that title is not wavy at all. And I'm kind of like, ooh, what am I getting myself into? But and then again, because it could have, something to do with Chocho and Sarada, that's how Naruto Gaiden started, it kind of makes sense. Or this could be, again, padding in between the ending of, the Academy days and right before Gaiden starts, something along the lines of that. Then we have episode 8. Message of the Dream. Boruto dreams of someone giving his eye technique. That's a really interesting one. That's what I'm talking about more. But if it's going in that direction, then that means maybe Gaiden is going on, but it's also going to have some original stuff that wasn't in Naruto Gaiden, because if you remember correctly, Naruto Gaiden started off with, basically focusing in on Sarada and her kind of trying to find out what's going on with her mom, who's a real mom, and also it didn't really focus in on Boruto. So there's possibility while Sarada is going in on her journey to find Sasuke, get these answers and all this good shit, that we can focus in on Boruto at the same time, and it's not going to completely exclude him like the Naruto Gaiden stuff, because again, the difference between Naruto Gaiden and this is that was Naruto Gaiden. It's going to do whatever. This is Boruto, so I'm pretty sure they're going to try their best to not exclude Boruto that much from different things. But let's talk about that title. Him having a dream of somebody giving him the eye techniques. That's really interesting, because for starters, who gave it to him? Where does this all go? Because if you follow the manga, and in the beginning of the manga, it pretty much went straight into seeing the Kawaki stuff, and he had that eye. Then we go into Boruto Naruto the movie. Never had any mentions of him having a special eye or anything like that, but he has a special seal by the end of it. So unless the manga, again, is going in a radically different direction, it's kind of making me wonder, what's up with that? When and how and why does he have that eye? And if he has this dream, who could it be? Now, there is some spoilers from the novel, because actually there's a novel that came out just recently in Japan that kind of depicts some of the events of what happens in this Boruto anime, which I'm guessing they wrote them at the same time, or Kishimoto gave them a draft of what to do, and the novel did their thing, and the anime is doing their things. But apparently there's a novel that depicts everything that goes up to, I want to say, episode 6 of the Boruto anime. And in the novel, there's something about an Otsutsuki looking person that actually has something to do with the plot right there. They don't know if it's necessarily to do with that snake thing that we've seen in the first few episodes, but apparently there's something to do with this Otsutsuki guy. Could that have some relevance? Is there another Otsutsuki that they're going to introduce? Could it be Tonetti? Maybe they're going to bring Tonetti back. That'd be kind of interesting, but I'm definitely 1,150 billion trillion times more excited about that episode 8, than episode 7, Potato Chips and Love, or Love and Potato Chips. Like, fuck that episode title. I have no faith in that episode, which, never know, maybe it could surprise me because it has such a shitty title. The following one, Boruto's eye techniques, having a dream. I'm guessing, again, it could have something to do with the Otsutsuki, or it could be foreshadowing for what's supposed to happen in the Boruto Naruto the movie stuff. Only time will tell with that as well. Then we have episode number 9, my own proof. Boruto tries activating his eye technique. So that's getting even more into some development for Boruto if he's actually going to attempt to do it. And my own proof is that Boruto actually wants to show himself first that he has these weird powers. Also, how is he going to go about trying to activate it? Because we've seen up until this point, the only way Boruto can activate that eye, besides the Kawaki stuff in the beginning where he seemingly could do it on his own, the only way he can activate that eye power is by seeing one of these guys that have fallen into depravity and they have that black chakra around them. So how is he going to attempt that? That's going to kind of be interesting. And also, just quickly to backtrack for the previous episode title, I'm kind of curious if the eye technique also could very well dive into the Byakugan stuff. Maybe Boruto starts having dreams that he has a regular Byakugan, because we've seen in the beginning of Boruto and up until this point as well that him and Himawari, opposed to the Hyuga clan, they weren't born with those natural dead-looking Hyuga eyes that just automatically they could go into the Byakugan stuff. We've seen in the day Naruto became Hokage OVA special that Himawari just kind of activated it, similar to like a Sharingan, how they could kind of turn it off. The Hyuga clan hasn't been like that, so I'm imagining it has something to do with their genes, and I'm really curious again if it's going to dive more into Boruto being a Hyuga, or is it just going to be strictly about that weird eye technique that he's had where he could see those people's chakra that kind of fell into depravity because of that snake thing that's biting people. And lastly, episode number 10, Ghost Incident, Begin Investigation. I really couldn't tell you what the heck that could be. It could still be more to do with that snake thing that's been biting people, and maybe people are seeing ghosts or something like that. But again, it also makes me think, aside from that Potato Chips and Love episode title that could have Chocho in it, it doesn't really look like we're diving into Naruto Gaiden like I previously thought. Again, I thought episode 7 and on, we're getting into Naruto Gaiden, which has a lot of cool shit to dive into. We had Hokage, Naruto, Shin, so many cool things that we could see, but it doesn't seem to be the case. I don't know if we're going to have quite a few episodes leading up to that as well, or how they're going to approach things, because again, they only have so much original material to work with that Kishimoto produced, such as Naruto Gaiden, the Mitsuki one-shot, and of course he helped with the Boruto Naruto the movie stuff, which we don't really even want a readaptation of that to begin with. So kind of curious how they're going to play with all this. Honestly, that last episode title, I couldn't even tell you. Maybe it's going to be a callback to that filler-filling episode where we had the wedding stuff and Lee was seeing Neji as a ghost flexing. Maybe Neji is going to come back as a ghost and start flexing on motherfuckers like, Zambyaku! Zambyaku! Like, hey, maybe that could happen. Nah, honestly, I have no idea what the hell they're trying to pull with these episodes. It doesn't seem like they're going to go into Naruto Gaiden at the very least right now. Also, a couple of them, like the Potato Chips one and the Ghost one, ain't really all that exciting. The ones in between about Boruto's eye, that could be kind of cool. It just depends on how they play it out. But really curious what you guys think. For starters, out of those 4 episode titles, which one sounds the most appealing? I think it'll be either 2 or 3, or what would that be, 8 or 9? Yeah, I think those about Boruto's eyes kind of sound interesting. Also, do you think that they're going to put off Gaiden, or maybe Gaiden will start at the beginning of these episodes with episode 7, and then we'll flash back and forth between Boruto and the Gaiden stuff? I'd rather them focus on Gaiden, honestly, because while Boruto could be an interesting character and we could dive more into him, I think the Naruto Gaiden storyline that they had going on was really good stuff. Again, Kishimoto was the one that created it, and it just had so many nice little twists and turns and stuff like that, and I'm actually just genuinely excited to see that animated. So if they're going to put that off, it's kind of like, where are they going to go from here? I think the Academy gave it a nice structure to see them slowly building, but if we finish the Academy episodes with episode 6 and then dive into this, it's kind of making me question, well, what is the direction from here on out? I thought we had it kind of solidified with, okay, Academy, Gaiden, Boruto Naruto the movie, let's get into some new shit. But maybe they're going to stretch it out, and maybe we won't get into Naruto Gaiden stuff till like episode 12 or something like that. And your overall thoughts of all this? Either way, I'm looking forward to those 2 episodes about Boruto's eyes, Potato Chips and Love, get out of here, and the ghost one, I have no clue. Maybe you guys have a theory about it. What do you think? Maybe it's the ghost of Neji. Maybe, I don't know, Madara comes back. Oh my god. Let me not even play with that, because just thinking about that kind of gets me too excited. Like, bro, the Uchiha God, like, that's not happening. Well, not right now, but if it takes any cues from a little series called Dragon Ball Super, maybe we see Madara show up in Boruto at some given point. Oh, that'd be so amazing! But that's all I have for this one. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you liked anything I had to say or enjoyed the video, drop me a like. I'd greatly appreciate it. And if you want more from me, make sure to subscribe. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and stalk my Facebook to get more when the video ends. I'm Finette World, and as always, people, have an awesome day.